It's hard to believe we're talking about Week 4. Tennessee travels to Atlanta. The Titans have lost 2 in a row, Victor.
Yeah, but I like Atlanta and Matt Ryan in this one. I think he has to do a better job of getting his receivers the football, getting Calvin Ridley involved. We know about Julio Jones and everything he can do. Get Calvin Ridley involved so it opens up the passing game for everyone. I think Atlanta takes this one.
And I'm going Tennessee. That Tennessee team right now, their backs are against the wall. They cannot lose 3 in a row. And I would anticipate if they do lose this game, that Marcus Mariota is not the starting quarterback and Ryan Tannehill takes over.
Well, we knew it was a pivotal year for Mariota, and 3 straight losses won't help the cause.
Tough.
Well, watch out, Detroit. The Lions have yet to lose, but here come the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs here. I think Patrick Mahomes, obviously week in and week out, he's just lighting up the league, and I think he's going to continue that trend against the Detroit Lions, who coming in a little bit wavery, understanding that Matthew Stafford has to play well. He has to be that franchise guy, and I'm not sure he is that coming into this year, and we'll see how it goes, but I got Kansas City.
I'm going Kansas City as well. I know Detroit has been playing really good football right now. Surprised a lot of folks going on the road and winning against the Eagles. But it's just going to be so hard against that Kansas City offense. They have so many weapons. Kelsey, Sammy, they're just so good across the board.
An embarrassment of riches, really, for that Chiefs offense led by the reigning MVP.
Yep.
Well, don't look now, but we've got a matchup in the AFC East featuring not one, but 2 3-0 teams, Buffalo and New England.
I'm going with New England here. I know this is a huge test for Buffalo. I know they're 3-0, but they haven't really played any competitive teams just yet, and this is the first time they'll get that chance. So I think New England gets the win. They continue to dominate, continue to play football in rare form, continue to be in midseason form, and get the victory.
And I got to go New England. Buffalo's going to play them tough. Their defense is playing well right now. But, when you look at what the offense is in New England, yeah, they have a little bit of beat-up receiving core, and the offensive line is a little bit, put together in pieces right now. But, you look at that whole team, their defense, the New England defense is playing lights out. Got to go New England.
It's so true. Buffalo's defense has played well, but New England, to your point, has been lights out, and they will have their sights set on Josh Allen. Well, the Oakland Raiders take their show on the road to face a Colts team who's holding down the fort, really, with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Brissett is doing a phenomenal job being the quarterback of this team right now and really getting the ball to his playmakers, and that's what you want to see, especially from a guy that didn't expect to be the starter coming in. You want to make his job easy, get the ball out there to his playmakers, and he's been doing that thus far. That's why I got the Colts winning.
And I got to go Colts as well. You look at what Jacoby has done this year. I think with the pressures of becoming the guy, he's handled that extremely well. And they're also running the ball extremely well. So I think that combination of running the football, play action pass, coaching that team up, the Colts are going to win this game.
John Gruden has been supportive of his own quarterback and Derek Carr, but if they do lose and fall to 1-3, it's a tough spot. Well, a tough break for the Chargers. They travel across the country, but in what may be good news, they face a Dolphins team that really just looks decimated.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for the Chargers to kind of get off the snide a little bit. They lost last week to the Houston Texans, and they need a win to kind of build the confidence back up of this team and get things going. Getting Melvin Gordon back will be beneficial, although he may not play in this game, but play in future games. But his presence and his energy should provide a spark for this team, so I'm going with the Chargers.
Vic, you said it. Gordon, he's back. That team's going to have a spark now. So I anticipate them going out there, getting a victory against Miami. I'm picking the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, great quarterback. They're going to get back on track.
And again, Gordon ending his 64-day holdout on Thursday, took a physical, expected to practice some. We'll see what happens in Miami. Don't look now. In case you didn't hear, the New York Giants have a new quarterback, young Daniel Jones, and now he will go back home and host the Redskins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Giants here. I think just the Redskins are just decimated with injuries, and they're just trending in the wrong direction right now. I think the Giants have a spark right now with Daniel Jones, and I think it's going to be up to him to continue that great decision-making that we've seen in his first start and continue that trend week in and week out, and it starts again here with a division foe in the Redskins, so I'm picking the Giants.
I'm going Giants. Now they got the young quarterback in there. The whole city's going crazy.
Talk about
the newspapers are going nuts. They got Danny Dimes out there throwing the ball everywhere. So they're all excited. I'll be excited for them. So, yeah, I'm going to pick New York.
No nicknames until you've played 4 games, okay? I'm making the rule. 4 games, okay?
New York likes to jump the gun a little.
Yeah, you think we'll see what happens in his second start. Will the real Cleveland Browns please stand up? Expectations were high. It's been a rocky road in the early going. And I tell you what, tough to find equilibrium against this Baltimore defense who they see next.
Yeah, this Baltimore defense is for real. That's why I'm picking Baltimore in this game. I just, as far as the Cleveland Browns, I'm just not seeing that consistency offensively, obviously with Baker Mayfield and getting the ball to his playmakers and the decision-making from the quarterback spot. But Lamar Jackson, company with that defense, playing together in all phases, I think Baltimore has the upper hand in this one.
I like Baltimore. Hard to go against Baltimore right now. I think they're playing really well. Yes, they lost last week, but that was to one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yep.
And then you look at the Browns, a lot of hot air coming out of there. You see them play. They don't play as well as you would think with all the talent that they have. So if you're the Ravens, stop Myles Garrett, you'll be good.
We're all waiting for that talent, if you will, to come together as a full team effort in Cleveland. We'll see if it's this week. Cam Newton already ruled out for the Panthers. Kyle Allen steps in again against the Texans. Look, it was an easier decision, I would think, after 4 touchdowns from the young quarterback last week.
Definitely easier decision for them, but I'm going with the Houston Texans. I just love Deshaun Watson and everything he's putting together this year. I love the way he's playing the game of football. I love the way he's getting his playmakers the ball. And then on the flip side, I just feel like Carolina depended so heavily on Cam Newton and the things that he's done. Obviously, the backup has come in and played great, but I think they're still weighing heavily on the loss of Cam Newton the past 2 weeks, so I'm picking the Texans on this one.
I'm going Texans as well. When I look at that team as a whole, yeah, their offensive line has gone through some issues, but you look at the quarterback position, solid, defense is solid. So Carolina, to me, I feel like they're searching for their identity, and they have a backup quarterback in there to where if he excels, and they do not win this game, there's going to be a lot of question marks in Carolina as who the next quarterback's going to be if Cam can't get healthy soon enough. So I'm going with Houston.
All right, keep that quarterback safe. Protect Deshaun Watson.
Exactly.
Critical for the Texans. Well, Bruce Arians brought into Tampa in large part to help Jameis Winston get on track, keep those turnovers down. We haven't seen that necessarily in these first 3 games, and now they've got the Rams.
It's because of that I'm picking the Rams. I think when you look at, we talk about the Rams offense and Jared Goff, but that defense and Aaron Donald, they're going to wreak havoc on Jameis Winston. And in turn, that secondary better be ready because those balls are going to be up in the air and they're going to be opportunities for interceptions for that secondary of the Los Angeles Rams. So I'm going with the Rams because of that defense.
And I'm going Rams as well. I like what I see from Clay Matthews. He's out there. He's an older guy, 33 years old, and he's got 4 sacks already. He's getting off on the edge. He's excelling with Aaron Donald next to him. So I anticipate that tandem there going a long way this year. They're going to do well together, and I think that the Rams win this one.
And if they do, the Rams have a chance to move to 4-0 and perhaps on their way to another Super Bowl appearance. A lot of new faces in new places for the Seahawks team. They go on the road to face Arizona and its young quarterback.
Yeah, I like Seattle in this one. I just think Russell Wilson is just going to play above the X's and O's. I think he understands that his team needs a win here. I think he knows who he's going up against and, all the hype that's been around Arizona. But I think he understands that his team needs a win, and he's going to do everything in his power to get these guys a victory and get his ball out there to the playmakers and get things going and get this team on the right track.
I'm going Arizona. Last week when I watched Seattle play the Saints, I wasn't particularly fond of their special teams play. They let up a few touchdowns there. So, when I watch this team, I think they're kind of searching for identity as well. And Arizona, young quarterback, fast tempo, get up on the line, let's wear out the defense. So I think Arizona has a chance. And they got Chandler Jones on the end edge spot trying to get after the quarterback and Russell Wilson. So I think that's going to be another factor in this game.
Just the 4th game of the season, but I would agree it feels like a pivotal game for the Seahawks. It will be interesting to see in which direction they go. Minnesota on the road in Chicago, and really 2 quarterbacks here who you could argue have something to prove, especially Mitchell Trubisky, who really hasn't solidified that offense thus far.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mitchell Trubisky has something to prove in this game, obviously a division game as well. But Matt Nagy understands that, and he knows that he's got to get this offense off to a hot start, which means Mitchell Trubisky has to have some plays where he feels comfortable, where he can get the ball downfield, where he can move those chains and get things going in the right direction for that team. So I'm picking the Bears, mainly because Mitchell Trubisky gets off to a hot start, and I can't say enough about the Bears defense.
Ooh, you really can't.
I'm going the Bears. You got to go Bears. I mean, you look at that defense, they're one of the best in the NFL. Offensively, yes, they have been struggling a little bit. But if I'm going into this game plan, I'm going to simplify the offense. I'm going to say, look, we're going to do 10 things in this game, and we're going to do them well. If I only have to run 10 plays, let's make sure we can execute these plays at a high level. So I have to go Bears. I think that defense is going to carry them a long way.
Well, 10 plays executed well for that team with that defense will give you a fighting shot just about every time.
Agreed.
Well, Minshew mania continues to be all the rage in Jacksonville. He'll take his mustache on the road to Denver. Who you like in this one?
I like Denver, mainly because of that defense. I think they're going to get after Gardner Minshew. I think they understand he's off to a hot start, and they're going to put a lot of pressure in his face and force him to make some tough decisions. So I got Von Miller in that defense over the Jags.
I'm going Jacksonville. I love me some Minshew. I'm telling you, those post-game interviews in the jorts.
Oh, you like the jorts?
I can't get enough of that
That's
stuff.
not a reason for the game.
They're homemade
Anyway, okay, I like his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that he presents himself after the game, saying, "Look, I don't have many opportunities, and this is my chance, so I'm going to take it and run." So I like that about the kid. He's got a chance. Now he's going to go out there and play. So he plays free, and that's the way you got to play to be successful.
A little gunslinger mentality. He is
That's
fun
it. I
to
like
watch.
it.
Why
It's
not?
true.
You know, he's like the ultimate you only live once quarterback.
And they got a good defense.
You got to keep the stash. Just keep the stash.
Keep the stash.
Rock the stash.
Well, Dak Prescott may not have a new deal just yet. Doesn't seem to matter. The Cowboys are undefeated. They are playing very, very good football, and they are on the road in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys in this one. When you look at that team, just from offense to defense to special teams, they're just stacked. And I think that is going to overwhelm New Orleans in this game because of that firepower, because of how Dak Prescott is facilitating the football down the field, getting it to all those guys that can make big plays with the balls in their hands. And he understands he's got to get the ball out to them early and often so they can get going and break a sweat early, and then this game will get out of hand. But I think the Dallas Cowboys win this one in dramatic fashion.
Ooh, dramatic.
dramatic.
Fashion. Not just win, but dramatic.
Last week, everyone picked Seattle because the Saints were going up to Seattle. They don't have Drew Brees. But guess what? They have Sean Payton, that head coach, has got that team playing out of their minds. And they're playing at home in the Dome, which is the loudest place in the world to play. If you're going to play a football game inside, you want to play it in New Orleans. So I'm picking the Saints because they're backed into a corner. And Sean Payton is telling that team, you don't have a chance. Everyone outside this building is saying you don't have a chance. I think they have a chance, but they got to execute. They got to play like they did up in Seattle, scoring on special teams, taking advantage of any mistake Dallas makes, and win that football game. So I'm picking the Saints.
All right, no Drew Brees, no problem. Not for Rob Ninkovich anyway. Our Monday night matchup in Week 4 sees the Bengals in Pittsburgh, a Steelers team that at least I'm surprised is yet to have a win, even without Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, and I'm going with the Steelers in this one. I think Mason Rudolph is going to have a good game. I think I think they're going to create a game plan for him to be successful. I think they're going to trim the fat on the playbook and give him a set of plays for him to go out there and play, fast and play hard and get the ball out to all those guys that make plays for him offensively. But Mason Rudolph is the key to winning this game against the Bengals this week.
I like Mason Rudolph. I like his game right now as a guy coming in, replacing Roethlisberger, who's injured. Look, when you look at the Steelers right now, yes, they're 0-3. They have the guys on the team that can right the ship, so to speak. And I think against Cincinnati, who's a one-dimensional team, they like to just throw the football. They don't have a running game. Their offensive line's banged up. They're going to get a win this week, and it's going to be at home, so that those terrible towels are going crazy and everyone's pumped up.
Well, they also have a head coach that is yet to have a losing season. It could happen, but you do feel like Mike Tomlin has the pieces in place to sort of turn this around.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.